Back everybody to another Q&A with Dr. J. Dunn from MyHappyGenes and me, GC. Today we're going to talk about one of Dr. J's all-time favorite topics, and that is compassion. It's nice to have compassion for other people, but we're going to be talking about compassion for yourself. And I think by extension, that might have you be more compassionate around others when you can see in yourself that you're not broken, nothing wrong with you, but there might be something in your biochemistry that's just not working well. So, Dr. J, take it away.
Yeah, you're right. This is one of my all-time favorite topics because it was life-changing for me to find out why I had depression. And I had been blaming myself for years and thinking that I just wasn't strong enough to think happy thoughts or whatever. And when I got my genes tested and I understood that it was largely biochemical from my genetics and my brain couldn't make those neurotransmitters the same way that other people could. It was life-changing because it was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't me. It was my brain chemistry this whole time. And I'd been doing so many things to try to fix it. And it's the human thing that we beat ourselves up and we compare ourselves to other people. Like, why can't I be happy like my friend Judy? She's happy all the time. And I should be more like her. What's the matter with me? And so that is actually why I created My Happy Genes, so that we could understand why we are the way we are and give ourselves that compassion. And the other thing it did was give me compassion for my parents. My dad wasn't always a nice guy. He was a grouchy grouch and ended up being an alcoholic. And so I blamed a lot of my unhappiness on him. And so when I started to look at the genetics, I'm like, oh, wow, he was struggling too. He was struggling with these addictive genes. He was struggling with the MAO because I got it too. I inherited it. But I looked at him through a different lens at that point. Oh, wow, he couldn't help it either. And he didn't have the tools that we have now to really understand these things and work with them. And so it is a big paradigm shift when we think about, what I'm anxious all the time. Why can't I just relax? And we blame ourselves and beat ourselves up and do all these things to get it balanced. But that's so the first report that we have, the mood and personality report, is all about compassion. It's about understanding, oh my gosh, my ADD is not my fault. There's a real reason for it. My brain chemistry is set up to make me not able to focus very well, or make me irritable, or to make me depressed, or to make me novelty seeking, where I can't sit still. I got to have something new in my life. That's the first piece, and that compassion is big. But it also, you and I were talking earlier about the philosophy of this, sitting with our moods and sitting with the biochemical things that are happening in our body, but and just stepping back and saying, oh, wow, I'm really irritable right now. This doesn't feel normal. And having compassion for ourselves instead of saying, just stop it, stop being mean, stop being grouchy. What's the matter with you? And allowing ourselves to feel that, oh, wow, I can feel that in my body. It's not fun, but it's not really my fault. There's something out of balance here. And so the second step that we can take with that, besides recognizing and allowing compassion for ourselves when we feel those feelings of anxiety or depression or irritability or OCD or whatever it is that we're feeling, just accepting ourselves, number one. But the second step would be looking at how is our diet contributing to that. And that's when we go to the second report, the diet and lifestyle. And for those that are irritable, staying away from turmeric and staying away from the things that aggravate those genes that can cause irritability, like the spicy food or the wine and cheese and chocolate that'll aggravate irritability. That's another step that you can take. And it doesn't cost anything. But if you really want to take ownership and allow yourself the compassion for yourself, but also take some steps to change it, those are easy. If you're anxious, stay away from the green tea and the caffeine and the quercetin that can downregulate the enzymes that are causing anxiety. We talk about some brain allergies, and we test you for things like gluten and dairy and nightshades, et cetera, that can actually aggravate these things. And not everybody takes them seriously. They're like, but I like those foods. It's okay. You have a choice. You want to stay irritable, angry, depressed, anxious. That's fine, but here's an answer for you. And we don't always, it's not always about digestion. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have any digestive issues when I eat dairy. It could be something else. It could be affecting your mood. It could be affecting your energy. It could be affecting your brain function too. So it's not always about digestion. And then, going to the next level of getting a practitioner who then dials in nutrients that can really optimize these things. You get to know your body in a way that is incredible because then you start to recognize patterns like, oh man, I had Indian food last night and I feel really irritable today. It is true. And it goes back to us keeping a log too of what we ate and what symptoms we experienced. But there's a real connection here. And it's an uphill battle to try to teach people about, number one, having compassion for themselves, other than beating themselves up and wishing they were different or comparing themselves to other people. If you can accept those moods and say, okay, this is the way I was designed. I inherited these genetic variants and this is my tendencies. With that knowledge, then there are some steps I can take to modify that and get it balanced. And so for me, I got the genetic lottery. I got all of these genes that are a challenge. And so I have to keep them balanced, but now I can spot it like, oh my gosh, I'm really getting depressed. I got to get back on my program and get back balanced. Or I've been eating one too many things that are push my body the wrong way. So it's very empowering, but the compassion piece to me is so big.
Yeah, and if you think about having compassion for yourself lowers the stress level that we are self-inducing, and stress causes inflammation and more anxiety and maybe more depression. And right, so it seems like this will, let's just say, alleviate in part some of the
Yeah.
condition, the symptoms that you're experiencing, if you can be with your feelings, like you said, sit in that feeling and say, let me see what I can possibly imagine is happening here. But it's
Um,
also the new year can
the
also be a
new,
stressful time for people. For some people, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to be, do, or have different. And
yeah,
some things may not just be that easy for them, but they could have self-compassion with who they are, how they were put together, the puzzle, their genetic puzzle,
yeah.
and maybe make it a little bit more pleasant anyway.
Yeah, and just self-knowledge. Again, stepping back and separating yourself from, oh wow, I'm anxious, and step back and go, wow, I'm anxious. Isn't that interesting? Wonder why? What happened? Did I eat something? Is it truly an emotional stress, or am I just hyper reacting to something because my biochemistry is off and I'm making a lot more adrenaline? And understanding it in that angle is just so empowering. It's just
Mm,
amazing.
I love it. I love it. So many interesting things to learn here on the Q&A with Dr. J channel. And we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to learn from Dr. J. And she will research anything for
Yeah,
you.
that's my job.
And if there aren't, I have to revert back to or refer back to a Q&A that we did about why we test the genes we do. If there's no way for you to help regulate a particular condition from the genetic level enzymatically, you're not going to be able to help people. We're not going to put the time in to research it. Is that pretty accurate?
It is. We do include genes that haven't really been fully studied yet, but are showing promise for having some like additive effect. So if it's like depression, so there are certain hormone receptors that we're learning more about. So we're including those in there. And as we learn more about how to regulate them, so yeah, that some are experimental, but most of them are ones that we know something about. We know how to work with it and understand how it fits into our biochemistry and what to do about it. So that's what we're known for in this company. There are a lot of other companies that are similar, and there are ones that test for the right drug to take, which is not what we're about. There are some that integrate other systems into their program and test for all the genes. It's not something we're interested in because it's just a lot of information that isn't that useful. So we like to stick with the genes that are in biochemical pathways that we understand, can work with, and know how they affect the body and the health risks.
Sounds quite reasonable to me, Dr. J.
I think so. It's logical. I know.
It's logical.
I hope people are not blown away too much by the biochemistry. It's really quite logical when you understand it, that you're trying to turn this substance into this substance, and it takes that enzyme in the middle. And if that enzyme is moving slowly, it won't happen the same way. And so that's when we get things building up in the body and creating conditions, diseases and moods and etc. It's all pretty simple, really.
And that chart really helps. I don't know about anybody watching or listening, but when I see it in front of me and you do the little pointer and it's okay, this guy over here and the end doofus, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm grounded now. I can see how it all works together.
Yeah.
Because I didn't take biochemistry in high school or college.
I failed it twice.
Wait,
I
please
failed
tell the
chemistry.
people that you went back and did it
I
again.
did.
Okay.
I failed chemistry twice in college because it was just so boring. But then once I understood it, and once I was like, I can't get enough now. And so I read everything I can get my hands on biochemistry. I want to understand this because it's so critical for understanding the human body and brain and how it all works. Yeah, it's my favorite topic now.
She has a lot of favorite topics. If you've been listening, I will introduce a Q&A and say this is one of her favorite topics, but this is also one of her favorite. It's like everybody. We
Right.
all think I have a favorite song, but then I really have this favorite song too.
This is true.
But our
Well,
real favorite thing is when people write us in with a question. Isn't
yeah,
that our favorite thing?
that is one of our favorite things, is I know that you're listening and I know that you have curiosity about various topics, and it helps us answer those questions for you. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Info@myhappygenes.com if you're wondering where to send those questions, or just put them in the chat underneath the YouTube videos and we will get back to you. We have real live human customer service, believe it or not. So if you had a
Yeah,
really big pressing question, you could call the number on the website and you would get a human.
yeah,
Rare
that's
these
something.
days.
It is rare, and that's something that I want to keep going. I'm very passionate about that, about having a person answer the phone, not a tree, not a
Do trees do
computer.
that nowadays? Wow.
Trees do that. They
In the world of AI, trees can probably do anything.
a phone tree or whatever you call it.
Oh, the phone tree.
A lot of them are bots.
I was
Like
thinking of trees, Christmas trees. Oh, sorry.
you got Christmas trees on the
I do
brain.
have Christmas trees on the brain. Now, all right. All right, people, we'll be back with another Q&A with Dr. J real soon. Be well till then. Bye, Dr. J.
Hi, GC.